Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to Minor League Esports, week number 7. It is Sunday night, and we have Premier League action upcoming now. Our final match of the night, and it's going to be a good one. My name is Hunted. With me is Vitali, and we saw two matches earlier on. The first one, a thriller going all the way to Game 5. The last one, not so much of a thriller, but a good series nonetheless. I'm interested to see how the Pandas and Tyrants play out here in our final match.
The Pandas, I mean, they're coming out 5-1 in their series, 21-9. I think that's I'm reading that correctly. I am 21-9 up against the 2-4 Tyrants. But again, tonight we saw the Pirates coming out 3-3, but the Comets 0-5 coming out and getting their first series win. So you really never know what to expect with these Premier League games.
Yeah, of course. I mean, when you get into the highest level of Rocket League, certainly the highest level that we have here at Minor League Esports, every series is fun to watch from beginning to end, and I would not expect this to be any different. The rosters for tonight, I believe Dan and Not Juice for the Pandas will be playing, but there was a sub made, I'm assuming last minute. It will be Magic and Kato now instead of Saucy, who was slotted to play, at least as far as we were aware.
As far as we were aware. But I mean, let's see what Kato can bring to this Tyrants roster. Obviously, we know Magic's a solid player, and we know on the side of the Pandas, Dan is a solid player as well. Honestly, I haven't heard too much about Not Juice, but again, players can come out of nowhere, come out of the work, and really shine off, especially in this prime time matchup on the Sunday night stream.
Yeah, and it is interesting. Of course, you said that the Pandas coming in 5-1, the Tyrants 2-4, but you know, it's different. It's just different to play on stream, and I think a lot of players know that. Of course, there are veteran players, Magic being one of them, who's been on stream numerous times. We'll see how he fares in this series, but you know, the stream brings a whole different aspect, and it can work in your favor. It could work against you. We'll just have to find out. We are underway. Pandas. My goodness, the Pandas green is very bright, but on this map especially, my word.
This is a very bright green. Oh, Kato's gonna have an. Yep, a good start for the Tyrants. 30 seconds in, Kato, that last minute sub comes in and makes a difference early.
Yeah, and he adjusted his eyes very quickly, didn't get blinded by the green on the back wall there, and makes the play.
I just feel like that's going to be a talking point the whole series.
I don't know, it's funny because it feels like I think it's just the map. It makes everything darker on the field, but then the colors really pop out above the cars and what have you, and on the scoreboard as well. It's such a bright green.
At least it's not Neo Tokyo. Take that.
Well, very true. I mean, I do like Neo Tokyo, don't get me wrong. But some of the
colors.
some of the colors in the MLE. I mean, we just watched the Comets. They're one of the worst defenders there as well. Great touch from Magic. Kato puts it home. We got to stop talking about colors now as Magic makes a wonderful pass.
Beautiful pass there from Magic. The Tyrants going for a little bit of a style. Point that out, but a beautiful pass from Magic, and this is the first time I've seen Magic actually in the breakout. So, maybe a new breakout main, but he's really using that well, and Dan's going to put that towards net. He's going to find the net as well. A bar down shot, and it's 2-1 Tyrants now.
Yeah, the breakout's dominating early on. That is a great touch off the ceiling, bar down and in. Great shot from Dan. That was the first shot for the Pandas. Brings them to within one with 3:58 to go in game number 1 now as Magic rolls this slowly towards the goal. Dan just gets there in time to clear it away.
A good save, but the Tyrants really getting that offensive start early. It seems like the Pandas are a little bit slow to start out with, even though being the higher record team. What a demo from Dan. That was ridiculous.
Well, Kato now looking for some kind of opportunity out in front. Magic not able to keep the ball in. Cannot just get there. No, not quite. Magic looking for a touch. This has been an odd start. So many whiffs from both of these teams. Not what we expect, really, from any of these players. But again, Magic did have a wonderful pass down to his teammate. It could very well be. Little things like that. I mean, after you've played the game for 2,000, 3,000, 4,000 hours, you know, blue and orange, sometimes these colors can certainly take a second to get used to.
I can definitely speak to that from experience.
There's Kano and Not Juice combining. Dan plays this down into the sidewall. Have you ever thought about this? This is just going to be a little bit of a tangent, but I do want to say this. Have you ever thought that even just in a 2v2 game in Premier League, as Not Juice takes a shot, he hits the bar, Kano makes the play. Solid save. But how many hours all four players have combined together? Like, that's a lot of hours. That is a lot of time. This is just four players.
Yeah, that's just four. That's four players. I mean, myself, I have 4,000. So I can only, like, imagine what other players, especially just in this lobby, have put into this game. Like, that's crazy to me. Especially just being at this top level. You put so much time into the game just to be, you know, at this level. Obviously, it's not out of love for the game, obviously, but it's the desire to get better as well is the biggest thing for me, especially Dan with a beautiful finish on a beautiful pass from Not Juice.
Yeah, he's not Juice, but he's also not scared to make these passes. What a pass! My word, Dan. That's a beautiful touch as well. That goes right by the defender and the Pandas. They come all the way back. Down 0-2 early. Not Dan gets a hat trick to bring them back. Now they're looking to extend their lead, but they have to play defense for now. Solid clear from Not Juice. Now Kato, he can't get by the Pandas defender. This comes off the back wall. Magic plays it into the corner. Solid demo, but Not Juice can't find the cleanup. Now it's a one-on-one. Magic versus Dan. Dan wins that one. It looked like Magic was out of boost. Couldn't quite make the play he wanted to do. The offensive side as the final 90 seconds approach in game one.
And something that's that the Pandas are doing a really good job of is kind of winning these challenges that they need to. And oh no, never mind. Just as I say that, Magic gets that ball, just falls right into his lap after a perfect 50 from Kato. Not just throws himself out of the play, but it's all tied at 3 now.
Yeah, it looks like a bit of miscommunication there. Both players going through the same challenge and either one of them winning it. So final minute 20 left to go. Game number 1. We are tied at 3. Magic, a solid touch. Can he get back to the ball? He does, but Not Juice meets him. Makes the play to keep it out of the Pandas' goal. We're approaching the territory where next goal could very well decide this game, as that's a great double touch. Not Juice just goes a bit too high, and they have to hustle back on the defensive side now.
And Kato didn't have any boost to follow it up, but that was a beautiful double tap from Dan. Just unfortunate that Not Juice couldn't finish it off. You might need to... Oh, what a play from Not Juice. That's going to go right into the middle. Kato is not ready for that, but neither is Dan, and the Tyrants get away with one with bad positioning, and now another bad pass into the middle. Oh no! He demoed him and saved the ball at the same time, and the Pandas are still tied when they should be winning.
It was a wonderful idea. He had to get that demo. Just went a bit too hard on it. Now this one comes down in front. Magic should be the first to get there. He turns off. Dan takes a shot. I don't think he was expecting Magic to turn away from that ball. Now Not Juice will bang it back down. Final 10 seconds. Magic finds a booming clear of his own. Dan is ready for it. He will clear it back. Kato cuts it off. This could be dangerous, actually, giving Not Juice somewhat of an opportunity. That one's just going to fall into the pitch. It's 3-3 overtime now in game 1.
I don't think we were expecting that, especially after the offensive opportunities that the Pandas had. Oh no, a miss there from Dan. Can Magic put this in front? He can. Kato with a shot, and he's going to bury it. And the Tyrants steal game 1.
They hold off the Pandas. They had a 2-goal lead early. Pandas come back 3 straight goals. The Tyrants tie it up late in game 1, and they win it in overtime. So a great way to start this series against a daunting opponent in the Pandas. But this is exactly what I was talking about, Vitaly, coming into this. Sometimes the stream just has a way of making games you would think go one way, go the exact opposite.
Yeah, they really do. I mean, obviously these players are very accustomed to being on stream, obviously being at this higher level, but again, just streams make games just so weird. I can attest for this personally that playing on stream is definitely different than playing just, normally a series just on your own. It's very weird to get accustomed to seeing players in the lobby other than yourself. I mean, obviously there's three other people in the lobby. I don't know. It plays with you sometimes, just mentally saying, "Oh, I have to play well on stream in front of these people," and sometimes it just doesn't work out the way that you want it to.
Well, it almost worked out for both teams. Of course, the Tyrants getting the victory at the end of game one. But, the Pandas, they played them solid. It didn't look like it was ever in favor of one team or another. It looked like the Pandas might have an opportunity to run away with it early on. But the Tyrants, they battled back. And I think that's kind of the calling card of the Premier League. It's sometimes you get mismatches where you get very high GCs against newer GCs, but typically these Premier League matches, they come down to the wire.
Yeah, they really do. And again, it is just, it's kind of the story of tonight, really, in the Premier League, especially. There's been a ton of comebacks. We saw the comments in almost every single game come back from being down. And the Tyrants, I mean, the Pandas were obviously down and they came back, and the Tyrants had to force some goals. But it just seems like they're very seesaw games, and you really don't know who's going to take it. Is really everyone's on the same sort of skill level base, unless you obviously get those higher tier players. But really everything can be up to chance in the Premier League for sure.
Well, game number 2 is underway now, and the Tyrants find themselves down a game in the series. They might find themselves down a goal here in game 2, but Nachos can't quite get there. Kato will clear it away, and Kato, the sub for Saucy, playing with Magic. That's a good bump from Dan, and Nachos now might be able to take this away. He actually bumps Kato. He had an opportunity for a dunk. I don't think he was quite thinking that going into that play.
I think he was just trying to demo him and see if the ball would roll in, but Kato had already gone to the ball. Unfortunately, Magic leaving the ball for Kato, and oh my, what a dunk! Wow. That's going to go right in. Kato just dunking right over two defenders, and he makes it 1-0.
Yeah, this put Nachos in a very tough spot. He's turned around, didn't have time to turn back towards the ball, and Kato takes full advantage. Put his team up early. First shot of the game for either team, and that one goes in. There's Dan taking the first shot for the Pandas, saved away by the goal scorer in Kato. Now here's Dan. He's looking for Nachos. Can't quite find him. This one bounces down. Good save by Magic. The Pandas, they find themselves on the back foot.
Yeah, they do. But I think they still have a good offensive showing in this series so far. Especially, I think they've done a lot of good, especially on the offensive side, just taking shots and forcing the Tyrants to make good touches, make good saves, especially with the bumps that they've done as well. So I want to see what they can do in the future of this game and the series.
I think a big part of that is going to be for the Pandas to not get frustrated when your early offensive opportunities don't quite work out. Sometimes you find yourself in these positions where you feel like you're playing so well, and nothing is getting by the defenders. Got to make sure you keep your composure now as Magic's looking to make a touch. Great play out in front. Kato will follow it up and score. He gets his second off a brilliant pass from Magic.
Magic, just a great solo effort getting it around Dan. Dan actually expected that ball to go a little bit higher, actually lower, but Magic turned around in just a way, he kind of faked it in a way and then put it above Dan, and Dan was just not expecting it, and Kato is there to put it in, and the Tyrants have another 2-0 lead. The same story we had in game number 1, they had a 2-0 lead. Let's see if the Pandas can come back and have that comeback again.
Kato goes off the corner wall. Dan collects. He's got Not Juice there. Finds the pass across. Great save from Magic. Can he turn on the Jets and find the goal? Oh, he just missed it wide. And now he's got to scramble back in position yet again. Dan tries to challenge him. He'll get there in time. Crazy plays now. And somehow the Pandas hang on, and they'll even get a goal back for their trouble. It almost ended up 3-0 in favor of the Tyrants, but just like that, it's a one-goal game again.
Just a beautiful beat there from Not Juice, and Magic not reading that ball off the backboard that well, and the Pandas, they get away with, you know, a bit of over-committing, but they do get a goal out of it, and now they're back to within a one-goal game, and they're on the road back to that comeback, which they did in game number 1. And it just seems like the Tyrants are having a bit of inability to really hold on to those sort of leads with quite a bit of time left. Just something that you have to control leads early on. You want to try to... They're really not doing a fantastic job of it, because the Pandas are just finding ways to get back into these games.
And now it's a 2-on-1. Kato can't get up in time. The pressure was on. And Dan finds the back of the net. We're tied at 2.
Not Juice just forcing Kato in a really bad spot there. And that's all it was. Kato gets a shot right at him. And Dan, I mean, it could have been a little bit better placement, but Kato really in not a spot to put that one away into the corner. And unfortunately, for the Tyrants, the Pandas have tied the game again.
There's not a whole lot of time left, only 70 seconds. Kato finds himself in the 2v1 again, but he makes the play this time, and he's looking to turn up field. Not Juice going to help him out, but Kato steals the boost. Bumps it towards the net. There's Not Juice playing it off the back wall. Magic tries to keep it in, but Dan will eventually find the clear. Kato, last man back yet again. Demo onto Dan, though, should open up some space. Not Juice actually plays this down for Magic to try to play. Can he go by Dan? Yes, he can, but only for a moment. As Not Juice is there to help off the back wall. Gives the ball up, however, but the shot not placed well enough to beat the defender.
Yeah, it seems like the Pandas are starting to ramp things up again here. It's kind of the same way that game number 1. The Pandas really ramping up in the later half of the game, and the Tyrants really unsure of what to do. And just some misses, especially from Magic. I'm seeing some costly misses, as that's going to go right into the midfield. No, Juice didn't have the touch, and it's going to go all the way down the field. Magic going to try to put this one in the middle. He's going to get a touch, but that's going to hit the ground, and we're going to go to overtime again in game number 2.
Can the Tyrants reverse their, or keep the same fortune they had in game 1? Can the Pandas reverse their fortune and find the overtime win? Great touch from Not Juice. Goes over the head of Magic, but Dan wasn't really ready for the pass. So he's now looking to return the favor. Bit of a double commit. This opens up the goal. Not Juice on net. That's in. A free game winner for Not Juice, and the Pandas tie the series.
That was an absolute gift. Magic just destroyed Kato the next civilization. He was gone. But again, the Pandas, a really good job of coming back and forcing the Tyrants into spots they really didn't want to, and really ramping up the pressure later in the game. Obviously, you don't want to start down 2-0, but as long as you have the mental fortitude to come back and make this a game, and I mean, they could have had game number 1, probably should have, and they have game number 2, and now this is a series. I feel like if the Tyrants won that, they would have been absolutely devastated.
Well, it's going to be a tie series going into game number 3. It kind of boils down the series into a best of 3 moving forward at this point. And, you know, it was, again, a close game. You know, we ended up in overtime. It felt like there were sways back and forth. One team had the advantage at one point. Then there was a follow-up, a nice goal, a nice pass, what have you, that instantly shifted the momentum back on the other side of the pitch. And that is what happens in this Premier League high-stakes, kind of high-action gameplay, where you get a good clear or a good pass, a good touch. All of a sudden, you're on the offense. You're the team with the momentum. And both of these teams are so very good at making sure they capitalize on those opportunities.
Oh, for sure. Especially, I'm sure these players have pretty big emotions as well. You know, goals will mean a ton to your confidence and just your positive thinking is not juice. Clears away Kato's touch. But again, even if you're down a goal or two and you get a goal, that's huge for your mental ability. As Kato's going to get through both players, and he's going to give the Tyrants another early 1-0 lead.
Yes, great flick. Not Juice reads it, but he doesn't get up in time, and Dan forced to try to make a play, but Kato had him beat all the way. So a 1-0 lead now for the Tyrants. 31 seconds into game number one. I'm sorry, game number one. My goodness, game number three. Game number one of the best of three we are currently playing. How about that?
That works.
Just got to spin it sometimes.
Sometimes that's all you need.
So that was a good demo onto Magic. Kato does make the play to try to clear it out. Buys enough time for Magic to respawn. He's got to get there. He does. A minute gone. 1-0 in favor of the Tyrants. Magic has to play defense now. Bounces out. Close call. Juice just played it wide.
Just unfortunate, but it seems like Magic is getting beat a little bit, especially in the field. As Dan's going to put that one in. A beautiful solo play from Dan, and he ties the game at 1.
Wow, absolutely beautiful from Dan. And we talked about play of the week. I certainly would like to see that one clipped and sent in. I guess this is a perfect time to talk about the play of the week. If you do see something you like, please clip it. Send it to us on Discord or tweet at us using the hashtag MLEPOTW as Magic instantly gets a response of a goal, and the Tyrants find themselves back on top.
Yeah, I'm a little unsure of where Not Juiced went, but Dan kind of threw this down to Magic, and Magic just beat him. I think Dan was trying to go for a dunk, and he just didn't get it. And Not Juiced rotated a little bit too far, and the Tyrants have another lead. And it just seems like the Tyrants have just been leading the whole series so far, at least leading or tied. I haven't seen the Pandas winning a game at all. The only time they were leading was in overtime in the last game.
Well, I think didn't they have a quick 2-0 lead in game one?
I think the Tyrants jumped out to a.
Or that's right. You're right. Wow,
what a
Magic
shot!
touch! My goodness, gets the double touch off the back. Well, makes it 3-1.
What a shot here! And again, we're talking about Balls Garana play of the week. Clip that one, because that is a shot. That's a ridiculous shot for Magic, and it gives the Tyrants a 3-1 lead.
Magic starting to catch fire now in game number 3. A perfect time if you are the Tyrants. Want to extend that lead as much as possible, but Magic's last one back. He's got to try to go over top of Dan. Not Juice just missed the net with a shot. Dan putting on a lot of pressure on this Tyrants defense. He's still looking for bumps and demos. Kato unable to control the ball. Magic can't get up there either, but Dan again rotating back, waiting his opportunity to play this one. Here's Not Juice. He's looking for his teammate, but Magic's going to collect. Goes by the first defender. Can he get back to the ball? He can. Dan makes a play. Kato's still here, looking for the shot. He'll score. Gets his second of the game. 4-1 now for the Tyrants.
Dan just put in a really bad spot by Magic, and then it gets bumped as well. And I don't think they were saving that anyways. Kato really put a good shot on net. Even if Dan didn't get bumped, it actually kind of helped him, because he was backwards when he did get bumped. And if he didn't get bumped, he still would have been backwards, so it would have been even more of an awkward save. So I don't think it mattered. And the Tyrants are up 4-1 in game number 3 in a series where the Pandas have pretty much, I don't know, it feels like they've been the better team in the first 2 games, but the Tyrants have really turned it on in game number 3.
They're certainly coming out to play now. 2 goals apiece. An assist for both players as well. A couple of shots, a couple of saves. With a minute 40 to go, the Tyrants find themselves leading the Pandas in game 3, 4-1. Can they close it out? Juice plays it down. Magic's already up for it. He takes a shot towards the back wall. Can't quite get the follow-up touch, and now it's a 2v1 going the other way. Kato can't get the shot from Dan, but it is just wide. Stays out of the goal for now. Dan trying to get the ball back to his teammate, but Kato's going to take possession. He's got Magic looking to support him across the way. Great dunk from Kato out in front. He scores. And another highlight reel goal in Game 3 by the Tyrants.
He dunks both players, and Magic has a free. Tyrants are showing up to play in Game number 3. That's fantastic play from Kato. Just realizing that he had to force the Pandas into a spot where they really didn't want to.
Are you kidding me? Oh, he makes the dunk as well. My word.
Oh,
just clip the entire game and send it to us on Discord, please.
Yeah, can we just have the whole game be... Honestly, both teams have had highlight reel. I don't even know what to say anymore. The Tyrants are up 6-1, but... What? I don't even know what to say. Oh, no.
And that will cap off the excitement.
That goes in.
Magic just unable to make the touch. Dan fouls it clean. And it does bring us to 6-2. 4 goals needed in 54 seconds for the Pandas. Can they do it? It will take quite the effort. I was thinking that maybe we would see the ever-elusive Brazil in this series. It's not meant to be. That's a good pass. Does not connect with the net, however. Got Juice on front. Kato makes the dunk again, and it brings it to 7-2.
I mean, if the Pandas didn't score that goal, we would have had that. But just an unfortunate touch right into the midfield. You can't make those touches. I mean, sure, you're down 6-2 at that point, but you got to focus on the next game for sure, because at this point, you've already lost. The nail's in the coffin. This game's over, but you want to try to make the best plays that you can. That almost went in, but you want to try to make the best and solid plays that you can going into game number 4. What a flick for Magic. What the?
I don't know how that had so much momentum, but that was amazing. And then Dan's going to score on the other side anyway, but wow. If I wasn't going to save the replay before, I'm definitely saving it now to see just how Magic got so much on that ball.
I guess the breakout is... Honestly, I'm switching to breakout after the series. That's going to be my new main. And unfortunately, goodbye Octane.
Well, these players have used the breakout to very good effect so far in the series. That will finish us off for game number 3. The Tyrants take a 2-1 series lead now heading into game 4. And, you know, it is one game, but they still have to finish the upset, right? I mean, they still need to finish. You can't think that it's over and won just because you're up a game in the series.
You really can't. You have to make sure that you say, all right, you know what? I'm going to die real quick, but this is a 0-0 series. We want to win the next game. I mean, you want to start out, or let's say this is game 5. You want to go with a game 5 and whatever works, but you have to make sure that you close out this series to get the series win, or else if you allow the Pandas back into the series and allow them to win game 4, I don't know. Like, game 5 is going to be a toss, in my opinion, because
yes,
even though the Tyrants had so many highlight reel goals this game, can they be consistent as well in the game number 4?
Yeah, I mean, you can score as many goals as many goals as you want in game number 3, but those don't translate to game 4 and game 5 goals. So certainly we'll see how they come out to play. But for the Pandas, you know, of course, they must be feeling a bit caught off guard, not expecting quite the showing from the Tyrants. But, you know, if you're a solid player, if you're a player that has experience like these Pandas players do, you know, you can't underestimate your opponent. And I don't think they did coming into the series.
No, I don't think they did either. I think caught a bit off guard, especially by, I Kato really popping off, getting a lot of really good touches, especially just on the defensive side. I mean, I've seen him in so many 2v1s in this series alone, and he's just done so well to put the ball to safety and really be a nuisance as he's being right here. Magic can't finish that one off, but Kato really being that super sub that the Tyrants needed in this series.
Well, they still need him. Series is not over. Series is not won yet for the Tyrants. They do have a 2-1 series lead. Things can change in a matter of moments in Rocket League. Not Juice harassing the defense. Dan will keep the ball in. Magic up for it to try to play it into the corner. Kato's there to support his teammate. Not Juice out in front. Good save from Magic. Just in the nick of time to make that play. Kato can't quite beat Not Juice. But Dan's going to rotate all the way back. Where's Magic? He took his sweet time getting to that ball. This one's going to fall down towards the front of the goal. Kato does make the play. Not Juice can't quite come up with the touch either. Dan out in front. That is a beautiful play. And eventually the pressure finds its mark. It's 1-0.
Yeah, this all leads back to Magic taking, I think he missed the boost in the corner the first time, so he went back to go and get it, and he just got a bad 50. And then Kato was forced up into a spot that he didn't want to, and he got a bad touch, and then Magic was forced into another bad spot, and it all led to a goal on the Pandas, but that's so much effort for one goal if you're on the side of the Pandas. But again, it's still a 1-0 lead, so you got to feel good about it. Definitely, if you after the game 3 smothering that it was from the Tyrants, it's got to feel good to get that 1-0 lead.
3:07 to go. Game 4. Dan trying to make it a 2-0 lead for the Pandas. Not Juice is there, but Magic wins that 50, and it clears out into his corner. Good solid touch from Dan to play it back in the zone. He's looking for an angle to shoot. Kato and Magic trying to combine to find a hard clear, but they can't get it by Not Juice. Slowly towards the net. This could be dangerous if they can't get back in time. Kato will not be able to beat Dan to the ball. Magic is still here to try to win that challenge. It's up. Good save. Dan just getting back in time. Kato still has an opportunity. He tries to play it slow, but it's a poor touch from Kato right to the heart of the defense there, and the Pandas walk away relatively unscathed for now.
Yeah, and if you're Kato, you want to take a better touch. You want to take a shot right away, especially if you're trying to take it slow. There was 2 defenders back, and you... Oh, no. Oh, no, not Juice. That is not the touch you want. I mean, you're trying to get away from Magic, but that's just unfortunate.
I mean, it's a tough play. Either way, I understand you have to try to at least hit that ball, but, you know, it's still a tough shot for Magic as well. That's not a gimme. You still have to make a good touch if you're Magic there. Unfortunately, Not Juice doesn't even give him the opportunity. He will send it into the back of his own goal, so we're tied at 1. Kato gets it by Not Juice, and now Dan is in a race with Magic. Not Juice respawns in time for that Kato shot. We still remain tied at 1 with 1:38 to go. Kato now into the corner. Dan with the clear. Magic backing up, doesn't get a touch. 2v1 yet again. The pass is across, but Not Juice can't quite get there, and Kato sends it down, gets it demoed. Here's Magic, had a lot of time there. Dan got to the ball late, but he does win the challenge. A lot of back and forth now happening between these teams. Nobody wanting to make that mistake that could end up costing them game 4. We've got 60 seconds to go.
Yeah, the Pandas especially, they don't want series on a mistake that could just be easily avoided. That's going to go right into the middle. No one's there to finish it off. That's so unfortunate. There's opportunities on that end. Oh, no, not Juice. Oh, no, okay. That went wide. I thought that was going to be very bad. It ended up working out okay. Kato going to put that one in the midfield, but Magic backflips. And the Pandas, they're boost starved, but they're still staying alive. It's going to go high, but going to be saved away. Can Dan win this challenge? He can't. Not Juice in a really rough spot. He's going to get that boost taken, get away. And the Pandas just trying to survive at this point.
Well, they do a good job to block that shot from Kato, and now with only 10 seconds to go, they transition onto the offense. Magic clears it into the corner, can't get the touch. Here's Dan, final shot, he goes high with it, just off the bar, that's across, Dan's there, he'll score! Pandas tie the series with a 0-second goal.
That's so rough. Kato expects the shot to go up high, and Magic just comes flying across the net, needs to make that touch, but a beautiful pass from Notch right to Dan, and Dan just knowing that all he needs to do is put the ball on net and good things will happen. Magic just flies past the ball, and the Pandas tie the series, and we're going into Game 5, another decisive Game 5 from the Premier League tonight. I am enjoying this series.
Well, if this upcoming Game 5 is anything like the Game 5 we saw, I certainly expect an overtime between these two teams, and that's kind of been the calling card of the series. Everything coming down to the wire. This game, it didn't quite go into overtime, but I kind of consider it overtime, as there was a 0-second goal scored by Dan to propel the Pandas to victory here. But what a game, what a series we have on our hands. And, you know, it was speculation early that the Pandas would come out hard, come out looking for that win to continue their wonderful season. But the Tyrants are battling back. They want this win. And, you know, they've been so very close. I feel like they had their chances in this game. They just couldn't quite capitalize.
Yeah, definitely. And Dan really showing up on the defensive side with 5 saves. That's a crazy defensive stand from one person. And Not Juice was there obviously as well to keep that defensive pressure up, but I feel like he single-handedly kept the Pandas in this game on the defensive side. And we'll see what happens game number 5. If it's anything like the others, then we might be in for... Dan's going to pop him right in front of the net, but he cleared away from Not Juice, and the Pandas clear away early in game number 5.
Of course, this game 5 only made possible by our sponsors. Big thank you to Power A. Power A is a sponsor for Minor League Esports 9th season, and we couldn't be more pleased. Power A makes some of the best licensed gaming accessories you can find. This includes headsets, controllers for Xbox and Switch, and plenty of charging stations. Check them out at MLEsports.gg. While you're there, check out our other sponsors as well, Humble Bundle and Balls with Guarana. We have a Game 5 between the Tyrants and the Pandas of the Premier League. We're a minute in, no score on the board. Not for lack of trying. And looking for the touchdown towards his teammate. Kato plays it off the back wall. Here's Not Juice to keep the ball in. Magic got to circle around. Here's Dan looking for a pass. Magic can't quite get up to it, but that shot's just wide. And Kato will eventually roll the ball out and find the clear.
That was a little scary. Oh no, that's not the touch you want if you're Not Juice. But the Tyrants, a good pass in the middle, but Magic still in that midfield line, keeping that pressure in. Dan having to clear that one away. Not Juice has to win this challenge, but Kato puts it wide, and the Pandas just trying to, again, it seems like they're just trying to survive. As Magic's gonna try. Kato gonna go for a shot. It's gonna go high. Magic can't finish that one off. Not Juice is gonna have an open net, and he's gonna get the first goal of game number 5 for the Pandas.
And it is another open net goal. Magic turning to try to play offense instead of rotating back onto the defensive side. It is kind of the bane of a lot of these 2v2 teams. You get caught on the offense trying to be a little bit too aggressive, and you get punished for it, as the Tyrants did there. But the Pandas out to a 1-goal lead, 2:50 to go. Kato collects and takes his time. He's got a one-on-one with Not Juice, opts for the flick, looking for Magic, but Not Juice is there to clear it out. Gets the boost as well, has an opportunity for a shot. Kato makes the save. Dan rotates in, that's up and in the goal. A 2-goal lead now for the Pandas.
really unsure of what happened here with Magic. He just seemed to be a little slow to the play, and oh, he just flipped out of the way of the ball. But Dan, an excellent job of following up an excellent 50-50 from Not Juice. Kato not really wanting that 50-50 to go right in front of his net, and it did. And the Pandas are up 2-0 in this game number 5. That's exactly what they wanted, but Magic will carry them. And it's 2-1 now.
Great little air dribble from Magic as well. He gets on the other side of the ball. And actually, I think that threw Dan off a little bit. It almost looked like Magic was just going to take it straight into the back wall. And Dan was not ready for the cut in midair from Magic. Makes it work, finds the back of the goal, and pulls his team back within 1. Still plenty of time, although we've played just about half of the game here in this lovely Wasteland Stadium. Dan whiffing on that play. This gives Magic some space. Here comes a 2v1. Kato trying to find the bump. Magic will turn it in. We're tied at 2 with 2:03 to go.
So I think Magic was trying to go for a pass here, but Kato ended up scaring the defender away, and Magic was just like, all right, well, I gotta get back somehow, and he does, and we're all tied with 2 minutes left, and that's something I don't think we expected after seeing how the Pandas really started out this game. Well, Magic's gonna go in!
Oh my word! How does he do it?
What a fake, what a play for Magic!
It's not science, it's not divine intervention, it's Magic. What a goal. Brings his team ahead 3 straight from Magic. And this puts the Tyrants in the lead with 1:55 to go.
Just a beautiful play, but Dan is an open net. Is that highly real gonna go? Deep from Kato. He had no boost in the tank, and he just had to flip back. The Pandas need to find a response goal, or else the Tyrants will win game number 5.
A great pass from Magic. Kato just gets up in the nick of time to play that clear away from Not Juice. As now Dan does find the clear, wins the 50 against Magic. Kato's up in the air quickly for it, opts to go near corner. This could be dangerous, as Not Juice trying to play this one away, but Dan, he missed the mid boost, and now he's stuck on 0. Has to try to turn this around, dodges the demo, but still picking up pennies, trying to get back on the defensive side. Kato and Not Juice combined. This one's scary as well. Dan has boost now towards the net. Magic makes the save. We continue to play with the Tyrants in the lead by 1 with just 60 seconds to go.
What a 50 there, Kato. And man, these 50s are getting a little scary for the Tyrants. Not Juice with a beautiful flick, but Magic gonna be right there. Magic really showing up in this game number 5. Kato, the touch, it's gonna be a 2v1. Oh, Not Juice going for the demo. Can Dan get around? Yes, he can, but it's going to get cleared away from Kato. And it's going to get passed all the way back. It's going to get hit right back to Kato. And with 30 seconds left, the Pandas need to find something that's not bad. It's popped straight up in the air. But the Pandas need to go all the way just to tie this game and send this game to overtime.
18 seconds to go. Out in front, Kato makes the clear. Here comes Dan. Quick shot. Magic's there. He makes the save on the goal line. 10 seconds left. Not Juice can't beat Magic on that play. And now Magic, he's wasting time in the corner. Finds the flick. Finds the goal. Magic absolutely carries the Tyrants to the series victory. What a play.
What a play. Wins the 50 in his own half. Then flicks it over the last defender. And with that, the Tyrants will take this series in 5 games over the Pandas as the ball hits the floor. Oh, what a series from these 2 teams.
Unbelievable sights here on Wasteland. What a great matchup. Magic, we talked about him seeming a little slow in this series, seeming like he needed to add a little bit something else, and he absolutely turns it up in this later half of game number 5, scoring all 4 goals, 2 crucial saves at the end. And my word, it couldn't have been a closer series. The Tyrants upsetting the Pandas here. What a match.
What a series. I don't even have any words. I mean, Pandas 5-2 now, and the Tyrants They do get a series win, and they move to 3-4. So that's a lot better, and a lot better of a chance to make playoffs now. Going into, obviously, we've talked about it all night. The last 3 weeks of the season are all division opponents, and now you get that series win, and now you have a good shot if you play well over the next few weeks to get into the playoffs.
I mean, talk about confidence moving forward for the Tyrants, taking down the Pandas, who, again, you know, I hate to harp on it, but this has to feel like an upset for the Tyrants. It has to feel like an upset for the Pandas. Again, both teams coming into this, the Pandas having a great season, 5-1. They get upset here in Game 5 by the Tyrants. And again, the momentum, the positivity built from this win could certainly help the playoff chances for the Tyrants. And there's only 3 weeks left. We've said it over and over again. It's divisional games. Those are the games that matter the most when it comes to that final playoff seeding.
It definitely does. But that is going to be it from us tonight. I don't know if you have anything more you want to say, Hunted, about this night or anything more.
I mean, really, I'm just so happy that we were able to bring this all to you tonight. So many wonderful series. Both Premier League matches going to Game 5. Our Academy League matchup was so much fun to cast as well. And, you know, I just hope that you guys will join us next weekend starting at 8 o'clock on Saturday. We do it all over again here on Minor League Esports. But for myself, for Vitali, for Rio behind the scenes, clicking all the buttons and telling the players where and when to go, we thank you so very much for watching, and we cannot wait to see you next time.
Good night.